Hell found something he never expected to find in his life. A friend. A young soldier with an easy smile even in the worst moments, who for some reason that Hell never fully understood, didn't look at him with the same contempt the whole world had shown him since he was a child. He treated him as an equal. He asked him questions about his theories. He truly listened to him. He laughed with him, not at him. Together, they survived nighttime bombings, entire weeks without decent food, endless nights waiting for the next enemy attack. And for the first time in his life, Hell felt something like trust. Something like, although he would never have put it in those words, something like belonging somewhere, until, in an attack that came without any warning, in the middle of the night, his friend was torn apart right on the battlefield. Hell didn't think twice. He carried him himself through the crossfire to his improvised field laboratory. And there, with his hands shaking for the first time in years, he tried the unthinkable. He tried to save him using his own experimental techniques. To fuse what was left of his shattered body with metal, with machine parts, with anything that would allow him to keep him alive for one more minute. He worked for hours without stopping, without sleeping, without eating. While the war raged outside, he failed. His friend died screaming on that improvised operating table, turned into something that was no longer completely human, but hadn't managed to become a machine either. Something half-finished, suffering, with no chance to live or die in peace. Hell had to destroy with his own hands what was left of the only person who had ever treated him as an equal. That night in silence, something inside him broke forever. He didn't cry. He had no tears left for that. Or maybe he never knew how to use them. He felt something else, much colder, much more dangerous. The absolute certainty that next time he wouldn't fail, no matter what that meant, no matter the cost. Weeks later, in a trench covered in snow, mud, and blood, he found a dying officer with wounds that no other doctor would have bothered to try to treat. Anyone else would have let him die in peace. Hell wouldn't. The lower part of his body was completely shattered. Impossible to heal by any known method. She carried him back to her lab again, and there, kept on ice since that night she swore never to fail again, was the only thing she had left of her friend. This time, she didn't hesitate to use it. With the same technique that had failed months before, now perfected by obsession and time, she joined what was left of one man with what was left of the other. And this time she didn't fail. She brought him back to life. But not like before the explosion that almost killed him. She brought him back to life as something completely different. Something that, in the most literal sense, would never die again. That officer became the man who years later the whole world would know as the Headless Count. A cyborg whose head lived apart from his own body, controlling it remotely. The first successful experiment by the man who, without knowing it yet, was about to become Dr. Hell.